Public speaking can be fun, empowering, intense. Whether you hold a presentation in front of a small team or deliver a speech in front of hundreds. The preparation is high, nerves may be kicking in, and your goal is always to deliver. My last experience on stage was a very positive one, and I want yours to be as well. Today, I'm going to share with you the best tips I learned from coaches, speaking experts, people who really own the stage. And most importantly, my own experience to help you prepare with confidence to speak publicly. We will go over stage presence, finding our own voice, dealing with nerves, and how to keep the energy in the room so that people actually listen. Preparation is one of the most important aspects of presenting, but one I won't go into too much depth today. If you want a separate video on how to find topics to talk about, creating PowerPoint and structuring your talks, then let me know. One question that is very important to ask yourself is, who is your audience? By that I literally mean, who is that person who is sitting in front of you? Their demographics, are they an expert or not on the topic you want to present? What are their needs? What are their problems? And what we tend to be doing is that we think we will have to put up a presentation that we would like, that would help me in the moment. But you are not your audience, not necessarily at least. The question, who is your audience, is also a very important one that you will have to keep in mind while you create your presentation. Keep it very short and keep it simple, but also keep it focused. Now, of course, we will go into practicing, right? I remember when I practiced all of my talks on stage, what I did was I started from the beginning. I went through my introduction, I got to my first aspect, and then I fucked up. So what did I think I would have to do? Right, I would start from the beginning again. I would go through my introduction, go to my next point. It worked, and then I screw it up again. This is not what you are supposed to do. Do not start from zero every single time you are practicing your presentation, because you might have a talk of 30 minutes, 35, 45, 50, 60 minutes, and I promise you it will take hours until you get to a point where you're actually through with everything. Separate your talk into multiple bits and pieces so that you know which one you will have to work on further. This means if I feel confident with my introduction, it doesn't need any more practice. So I can already go to my piece number 4 because I feel like it doesn't go that smoothly, and practice that one. What also counts as preparation is if you are going somewhere to give a speech, to hold a presentation. If allowed, I would recommend to take a look at the room you will be speaking in. I know that normally, especially for bigger conferences, this is happening mostly like a day before, that all of the speakers can see the stage and you normally have some kind of technology check. This will also help you with how much can I move on stage, how does the room feel, where does my audience actually sit, etc. Okay, one huge learning I had in my last talk was the following: energy fades. Now, I was on stage. In the beginning, guys, the energy was unmatched. I was up here, I was performing with my whole body, I was present, but then I kind of delivered my points. I just noticed my energy level going like this. It was exhausting. It was exhausting to be remembering what I wanted to say. It was exhausting at one point to interact with people, to make eye contact. So you will need a lot of energy. Now, for this presentation, I was in a different country, and that means that I stayed in a hotel. What we know from hotels is there's very nice breakfast in the morning, right? You have pancakes, you have all kinds of sweets, cakes. And you know what you won't do that morning before your presentation? You won't be eating any of this. I'm sorry. I am forbidding it. Don't do it. Now, I know everyone works differently, and I'm 100% sure that there's certain speakers out there who have literally no problem with it, who you could wake up in their sleep and they would be able to perform. If you are not that speaker, go to bed early, eat healthy, work out if that's possible, whatever actually helps you to stay focused and also to keep your energy level. All right, let's head into stage presence. How do I find my voice? Now, this is a question that I personally actually had for my speaking coach for one of the events I spoke at. And we were blessed to have one-on-one personal coaching. Now, I don't want to go too much into genders here, but normally what tends to happen is that women are taught to be speaking higher than their actual base voice pitch. Also, what we tend to do is not finish our sentences, but we go up, which would mean I would be talking like this, and we will go to the next point, and I'm trying to teach you this, and it's very important on stage is that you are clear, direct, and that you make a point. That means you start a sentence and you finish it. Now, the exercise that I got recommended was the following. Imagine you are watching the news, or actually put on the TV if you have one. What you will be doing is commenting on everything that you see, but there's a little twist to it. You won't be using your actual words, but you will just use your voice, meaning it will go like this. I found that very interesting because what I also noticed for myself is that I can go way lower, and this is something I could practice now. As a newly licensed breathwork coach, of course, I will have to recommend a breathing exercise to you. My favorite breathing exercise would be the 4-7-8. Just like the name says, you literally breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and then breathe out for 8. Now, what the longer pause and the longer exhale does is that it calms your breath down, which will come in really handy before you get on stage. This is an exercise you can literally do anywhere, even if you already are right about to start your presentation. So you don't need to hide anywhere to do crazy fancy ass breathing exercises. This one is super plain and it works very well. Also, I just want to tell you, you're not nervous, you're excited for the presentation, obviously. And this excitement actually helps you to stay present and to stay focused and to deliver a great performance. So reframe the word nervousness for you. Now, how do you actually stand on stage? A huge part is body language and posture. The first thing I would recommend if you feel a bit nervous is to ground yourself. How does that work? You literally put your attention down to your feet and feel them, every single touch point of your feet below, like below your feet, on the ground. You can also visually imagine having roots grow from your feet down to the earth. You can imagine yourself at a nice beach, feel the sun on your body. Visualization helps us tremendously to calm down and keep focused. Now, how does posture actually work? Posture in our sense means chest up, feet hip width apart. Do not fully lock out your knees, but bend them slightly so that you are a bit more flexible in moving your body and do not feel and look too stiff. My personal favorite is coming up now. How do I keep the energy in the room? How do people actually want to listen to me and don't fade out after 5 minutes? Just as I am looking to you now through this lens, you will also have to make eye contact with people. Let me warn you, there will be people in your audience who won't exactly look all too inviting to interact with. Meaning they will, go into a bit of a defensive body language. And those people, especially in the beginning, are not necessarily the one you should be picking out. There is going to be someone in the audience who actually listens to you, and this is the person you can focus on in the beginning. Separate the room into 3 parts. You will have the left, you will have the middle, and you will have the right. And what you are not doing is look at all parts at the same time. You will speak to the left part, you will speak to the right part, or you will speak to the middle. Also, in order for your voice to actually work and to have strong presence, to have power behind it, you will have to send your voice literally to the opposite wall of you. If there's a big room, you will have to speak up a little bit. But this imagination really helps you to fill the whole room with your voice. Depending on how big the space is that you can move in, I would also recommend for you to move. You can see the woman up on stage who has different points she could potentially walk to. Imagine it like a triangle. Or maybe even 3 different points on stage you can walk towards. You can go to the left, you can go to the middle, you can go to the front, you can go to the back, wherever you want to be. But do not run around constantly. Deliver one aspect while standing still and then move. I have been to seminars, and my favorite seminars are those in which speakers leave the stage. To bring up that picture, sometimes we have a pathway in our audience that we can walk onto. If that is possible, try it out, because the advantage here is that you do not only talk to people sitting in the front, but you can actually walk to everyone in the back, to people who maybe wanted to hide or who don't feel that included in your talk. I have watched an interview with Vanessa van Edwards on Diary of a CEO, and she talked about how she did an analysis of all TED Talk videos that are online on YouTube. And her team found out that speakers who went viral were gesturing more than the ones who didn't go viral. Now, I would generally say, especially from a marketing perspective, that there is always different aspects that fall into that, obviously. However, I did find that learning very interesting. Gestures also something we can learn. Look, if you're not a person who wants to go over the moon and, really talk with their body, and it feels really uncomfortable to you, then keep it a bit lower. It also kind of depends on the personality that you want to bring on stage. If you're more of a direct, strict, professional expert maybe, it doesn't really fit to go all in. But for some people it does. Generally, gestures, mimics, body language, but then also moving around on stage, all these things help to make the scene visually more attractive to people. Because imagine, there's people in an audience, also at a conference, for the whole day listening to people talk. And everything they see is just this one person. It gets boring. And the last point I want to make is, if there is a podium, please do not stand behind the podium. If you are a politician, if you are the President of the United States, then that is something different, obviously. But as someone in an audience, I can tell you it really feels like you're going to university. And not everyone likes university. So if you can, move. All right, and this is it. If you have a presentation or a talk coming up, I wish you all the best. Good luck. If you used any of those tips, if you have additional learnings or personal learnings you want to share, feel free to do so. I am very much looking forward to reading those comments. I want to leave you with practice makes perfect, be yourself, and public speaking can be a lot of fun. And I really hope that you feel that for yourself as well.